Dear students, in this lecture, we can see what is World Wide Web, what is the architecture of World Wide Web, what are the terminologies used by World Wide Web. So let us start the session. Let us start with what is World Wide Web. WWW. WWW stands for World Wide Web. A technical definition of the World Wide Web is all the resources and users on the internet that are using the hypertext transfer protocol. So World Wide Web is the access point for all the resources and users on the internet that are using this hypertext transfer protocol for transferring the data. A broader definition comes from the organization that web inventor Tim Berners-Lee helped found, the World Wide Web Consortium. So all the details, all the standards or protocols which should be followed by the World Wide Web is managed by a consortium called World Wide Web Consortium, and it was developed by the web inventor Tim Berners-Lee. The World Wide Web is a universe of network accessible information. In simple terms, the World Wide Web is a way of exchanging information between computers on the internet, tying them together into a vast collection of interactive multimedia resources. So actually this World Wide Web is a way for exchanging information between the computers on the internet, and so that we can transfer the data from one computer to another, and we can also transfer the interactive multimedia resources over through this particular network. Evolution of web. World Wide Web was created by Tim Berners-Lee or Timothy Berners-Lee in 1989 in Geneva, and World Wide Web came into existence as a proposal by him to allow the researchers to work together effectively and efficiently at CERN. Eventually, it became the World Wide Web, and the diagram shows the evolution of World Wide Web. Web 1.0. Web 1.0 is developed in the year 1989, and it contains only static web pages, browserware, mostly publishing, and no communities are there in Web 1.0. Then comes the next version of web, that is Web 2.0, which includes the social media like Orkut, keyword search, rich user experience, tagging, likewise are in the Web 2.0. Then comes Web 3.0. It is highly mobile, OpenID, semantic search, microblogging. Now we are in the era of Web 3.0, and then the coming era is in the Industrial Revolution 4.0. That will be in the progressive mode. Let us see the terminologies that are used in World Wide Web. IP address. It is uniquely identified by a numeric address, and it is a 32-bit address. So usually written as 4 segments separated by a period. In the previous part, we discussed about the IP address. IP address is a numeric representation or a unique ID for identifying a computer on the internet, and it is having 4 parts, and each part is having a range from 0 to 255, whereas these parts are separated by periods. Then hypertext. Hypertext is a text with embedded links to text in another documents, and non-textual information is termed as hypermedia. Hypertext means if you are making a traversal from one web page to the another, we can provide it as a hypertext link in a web page. Then hypermedia is there. Hypermedia is used to transfer non-textual information. Then another terminology is web server. Web server can mean one of two things, that is a computer program that accepts HTTP requests and return HTTP responses with optional data content, which means that HTTP web requests as well as HTTP responses are handled by the web server. And web server is also can be termed as a computer that runs a computer program. So web server is having two duties. One is that it is used for handling the HTTP request and returning the corresponding HTTP responses with optional data content, and another thing is that it is used for executing a computer program. Some of the popular web servers are Apache Tomcat, then IIS-7, Internet Information Services. Then another important point or another term which is related to World Wide Web is web browsers. The primary purpose of web browser is to bring information resources to the user. We already seen that web browser is a software which is used to access the web pages on the internet, and it's an application for retrieving, presenting and traversing information resources on the web. User can request for any web page by just entering a URL into the address bar, and it can show text, audio, video, etc. It interprets text and commands contained on the web page, and most popular web browsers are Internet Explorer, Opera, Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge. So web browser is a software which is used to access data from the internet, and it is a client side of client server architecture of the internet. See, this browser can access the web pages, and browser uses this HTTP transfer protocol for requesting the data resources from the web server. And this is the TCP/IP protocol suite that is used by the browser. HTTP protocol can be used for accessing the data from the web server or sending the request. Then file transfer protocol can be used. Then telnet protocol can be used with web browsers. SMTP, simple mail transfer protocol, can be used. And for the corresponding web browser, we can execute the HTML code, JavaScript code, Java applet codes likewise. So architecture, the most common component that all web browser have are listed below. There will be a controller or dispatcher, then there will be an interpreter, and a client program is there. And another important point or another important question which is related to World Wide Web is its architecture. So we can see a web browser here, a database server here, a web server is here. So web browser, web server and database server are connected over a network. So here we can see some arrows are there. The darkened arrows are communications between web browser and web server, and the dotted lines are the communications between web server and database server. So here how the World Wide Web works, that is mentioned in this particular diagram. This is our web browser, that is the client computer, and this is the web server which is processing the client request, and the database server which is related to this web server is here. So here the web browser requests for a dynamic web page. So this web browser is needed a dynamic web page. So it sent or it passed the request through to the network through the HTTP protocol. From the network, this request is forwarded to the web server, request for dynamic web page towards the corresponding web server. Then if the server is having any confusion related to that particular request, a data query will be forwarded to the corresponding database server through the network. So from the web server, this request is converted in the format of a data query, and that data query is transmitted over the network towards database server. Database server access that particular data query and identify the corresponding data, and it will give back the result from the database server. That is, retrieved data is passed to the web server through the network. So retrieved data is from the database server is traversed from network towards the corresponding web server. Then web server gets that particular data. Then in the next step, the web server converts this particular data, and it will be in the format of a dynamic web page HTML file, and it will be moved back to the requested client over the network. So through the network, it will be reached back to the web browser where that forwards that particular request. So in this particular HTTP request or for this client request, three things are involved. Web browser is there, web server is there, and database server is there. In this particular architecture, web browser is making the request, then web server accessing that particular request and send a data query towards database server. Database server retrieve the data, and retrieved data is passed back to the web server. Web server generates a dynamic web page based on that data, and this dynamic web page HTML file will be forwarded back to the web browser through the network. This is the basic architecture of World Wide Web. World Wide Web operation. And this World Wide Web, we already seen the architecture. We know that it is in the format of a client server approach. Following steps explains how the web works. The user enters the URL of the web page in the address bar of the web browser. So the first step is user has to enter the address. The browser requests the domain name server for the IP address corresponding to that particular URL. So if the URL is tutorialpoints.com, so what happens is the browser requests the domain name server for the corresponding IP address of tutorialpoints.com. After receiving the IP address, browser sends the request for web page to the web server using HTTP protocol, which specifies the way the browser and web server communicates. The web server receives request After receiving the IP address, browser sends the request for web page to the web server using HTTP protocol, which specifies the way the browser and the web server communicates. Then the web server receives request using HTTP protocol and checks its search for the requested web page. If found, it returns it back to the web browser and closes the HTTP connection. Now the web browser receives the web page, it interprets it and displays the contents of web page in web browser's window. This is actually what we seen in the corresponding web's WWW architecture, World Wide Web architecture. So initially user enters a URL on the browser's address bar. Then whenever he press enters, this browser send the address as a request towards the domain name server for the IP address corresponding to that particular address. After receiving the IP address, browser sends the request for web page to the corresponding web server using the HTTP protocol. Then web server receives the request using this particular HTTP protocol and it searches for the corresponding requested web page. If it found, it returned back to the web browser as a HTTP response object, and finally it closes the connection. So the terminologies used in this World Wide Web architecture or its activity involves URL. URL means Uniform Resource Locator, which is used to identify resources or documents on the internet. We already seen the URL format. Then HTTP is a request or response standard of client and server. Typically, an HTTP client initiates a request and resources can be accessed by HTTP are identified using uniform resource identifiers. And HTML, that is hypertext markup language, which is used to define the structure and appearance of web pages. So the main component inside this World Wide Web terminology is the web page. Each and every document that is available on the internet is termed as a web page. So it is a document available on World Wide Web. Web pages are stored on web server and can be viewed using a web browser. A web page can contain huge information including text, graphics, audio, video, and hyperlinks. These hyperlinks are linked to other web pages. Collection of linked web pages on a web server is known as website. There is a unique URL associated with each web page. Static web page. It is a fixed document that is created and stored in server, and it is also known as flat or stationary web pages. User can only read the information but can do any modification or interact with the information. And the static web pages are created using only HTML, and this can be only used when the information is no more required to be modified. Only we can view that particular static web page. There may be no interaction, no uh, data accessing. Such type of things are not possible in static web page. Static web page remain constant every time. So this is a web browser request for a particular web page over the internet, and this request is forwarded to the web server. This web server is holding the static web pages, so that requested data is or requested web page is returned back as an HTML file over the internet towards the requested client. Now we can see another type of web page, that is dynamic web page. It shows different information at different point of time. Whatever that is not static is termed as dynamic. So in case of static web page, the content remains constant. But in case of dynamic web page, with respect to time or with respect to geographical location or some other features, the content changes. It is possible to change the portion of a web page without loading the entire web page, and it can be made possible using the Ajax technology. And this is our local computer, which sends a request to example.com/login.php. This request is forwarded to the internet. So the web processor will processing that particular request, and a PHP interpreter is there which produces the corresponding relevant data towards that particular web page. And this web page, with the help of database, it will generate some data, and that generated data is expressed in the format of a web page and give back to the requested client. Depending upon the client, login.php. So depending upon the client request, here a login page is having user ID and password data that is forwarded to the corresponding web server. So what the web server do is, web server checks that particular data, and if that data is valid, it gives a page back to the, or if data is valid or invalid, it gives the corresponding result back to the requested client. This type of activity can be performed using dynamic web pages. That is data transfer. So user can interact with this type of dynamic web pages. So server-side dynamic web pages are created using server-side scripting. Server-side scripting parameters determine how to assemble a new web page, which also includes setting up of more client-side processing. And client-side dynamic web pages are created using client-side scripting such as JavaScript and then passed into document object model. So dynamic web page can be created using both client-side scripting languages as well as server-side scripting languages. So server-side scripting parameters determine how we can assemble a web page, and dynamics scripting language helps the web page for client-side validation. So some of the major technologies associated with World Wide Web is scripting languages. Client-side scripting language as well as server-side scripting languages are available. So like programming languages, it allows us to write programs in terms of script, and these scripts are interpreted, not compiled, but executed line by line. So scripting languages are a methodology to create web pages, interactive and dynamic web pages. We are having client-side scripting as well as server-side scripting. Client-side scripting refers to programs that are executed on client side, contains instructions for browsers to be executed in response to certain user actions. Some examples for client-side scripting are JavaScript, Visual Basic Script, ActionScript. Then server-side scripting. So it acts as an interface for the client and also limit the user access the resources or web server. It can also collect users characteristics in order to customize responses. Example, Python, PHP, ASP, etc. So these are the scripting languages associated with World Wide Web. It can be categorized into two, client-side scripting and server-side scripting. Hope you understood the basics related to World Wide Web, its architecture and the terminologies that can be used with World Wide Web. Thank you.